I had an incredible time on board Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas, but there were 5 things I wish I knew about before I embarked the ship. Some are hacks so that you can make the most of your time on board. Others are just good information so that you don't miss out on anything, and there's a couple of things I have a good old rant about too. So let's get to it. One of the many reasons I booked a Quantum class ship was to go up into the Northstar and soar high in the sky. I really didn't think that the at-sea version was worth the additional cost. So while I would have been content to use the free option, where you got to have the Northstar experience while in port, I just wanted more. So the thing to understand is that once you've left port, you can book the free option, which doesn't sail over the side of the ship, but it does mean you get to see these amazing sea views while she's in motion. You'll have to use the rather temperamental app the night before, usually around 8 PM to book. And of course you'll need to act fast as these slots are very quickly filled. If you've never been up in the Northstar, it's a fantastic ride. If you have and want to have a new experience or feel the thrill of being 300 foot up while the ship is moving, I can highly recommend this. Which leads me on to the second thing I wish I'd known beforehand. I was both surprised and disappointed about the accuracy of the Royal Caribbean app. There were just far too many last minute changes to the schedule, which meant that people were missing out on entertainment on board. Royal have implemented a cost-cutting measure, gone green, by not having a copy of their cruise compass delivered to your cabin each day. I recommend asking your steward to provide a copy of the cruise compass in your cabin, or go to guest services to get your own. A prime example of this was the final performance of We Will Rock You, which should have been on the 5th night according to the app, but it was brought forward until the 3rd night. But unless you've got a copy of the cruise compass, you're not to know this. So as I approached the Royal Theatre, there were people coming out complaining that the magician that they thought they were going to be seeing had been changed. Sat down on the top tier, but once I saw there were so few people downstairs, I moved to get a much closer seat. In the end, the theatre was about a third full, and I spoke to other passengers who were very disappointed to have missed the main show aboard the ship. The third thing that I wish I'd known before was the lack of late evening dining options, especially for hot food. Windjammer Marketplace is one of the best buffets I've been to, with a huge variety of food available and situated in a large open area. I've been very critical of buffets on ships previously, but I have no complaints here. There was just so much choice here, it's incredibly well stocked and very clean. Unfortunately, it closed at 9 PM, which came as a bit of a shock, especially when other cruise lines have theirs open until the small hours, sometimes as late as even 3 AM. The only eateries open past 9 PM were the Promenade Cafe and Sorrento's, and they tended to be very popular with long queues forming. The Promenade Cafe serves filled rolls and wraps, desserts and fruit. If you wanted hot food, then Sorrento's was the obvious choice. And don't get me wrong, the pizza here was great, and there was a change in special each day. Unfortunately, I didn't want the only option to eat pizza. One of the best things about Sorrento's is it's opposite the Brass and Bock pub. So you can sit outside, eating your pizza, listening to some music. It's just a shame there wasn't anywhere late night to get a burger or a curry. And the fourth thing I didn't know about was again food-based. The Solarium Bistro is the eatery in the adult-only Solarium. But what I didn't know is that I'd have to make a reservation before dining here. So when I popped into the bistro for dinner, which is just a slightly more fancy Windjammer buffet, I was surprised we turned away despite the restaurant being close to empty. I've never had to book to eat at a buffet before, and this seemed totally unnecessary. I'll be honest, I was quite shocked, but it is what it is, and the maitre d' really wasn't going to be persuaded otherwise. I made a reservation for the following evening and it all went smoothly, despite there being very few people in there still. It just seemed completely unnecessary and left a bit of a bad taste with me. And despite the solarium being in an adult-only area, kids were allowed in the bistro, which was something else I didn't quite understand. Which brings me to my final point, which was the general lack of adult-only entertainment, and what there was still kids present. Royal Caribbean did try to explain the situation beforehand, but it tended to fall on deaf ears.
This is one of them. So, I will stress, this is adult comedy, so if you're about this big, still classed as innocent in the law's eyes, this is not the place for you.
Now, in no way am I blaming the children themselves, but their parents should be more responsible and respectful to other passengers. I'm just bemused that some parents think that a late night comedy routine is suitable for their children.
And he's dead.
There wasn't as many adult-only events as I expected, and on some evenings there wasn't any at all, so I don't think it would be difficult to keep children away, especially during the 18+ game shows, which were definitely not suitable for younger people. And it's not as if the kids' clubs were closed because they were open until late, or that there weren't other venues with entertainment more suited for a family audience, such as the Crazy Quest in the 270. And there were also so many children running around on the dance floors. It got so bad that there was a note in the cruise compass reminding parents they have to be with them. Unfortunately, due to the reliance on the app, few people would have seen this. So here ends the 5 things I wish I'd known. But what did I miss? What do you wish you'd known before sailing with Royal Caribbean? Please let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on.